everyone. I'm Adam Brown, and this is ShellPoint Today for Monday, December 1st. On today's show, some important information you'll need to know about the new ShellPoint directories. Plus, Lee County Sheriff Mike Scott stops by to talk about a program that helps protect our older citizens. And ShellPoint residents are getting ready for the holidays. We'll show you the special work one resident is doing to make the season festive. But first, you have until this Friday to be a part of this year's Employee Christmas gift. Show the wonderful staff here at ShellPoint how much you appreciate the hard work they do. Contributions to the gift can be made by check, payable to ShellPoint to Cashier Administration via the internal mail. Make sure to write Employee Christmas Gift on the memo line of your check. Contributions are being taken until this Friday, December 5th. Shopping for that perfect gift can sometimes be difficult, but don't worry. The ShellPoint Gift Shop has plenty of great items, and they'll be available tomorrow at the Gift Shop Extravaganza. Stop by between 10 and 2 for all of your holiday shopping. That's at the Gift Shop on the island. Also tomorrow, the ShellPoint Concert Series continues with the first concert and conversation of the season. Trumpeter Mary Elizabeth Bowden will entertain residents in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. Tickets are $25 and the show begins at 7 o'clock. A dessert reception will follow the show with mingling with the artist. For more information or to sign up for any of the activities we've talked about, stop by the Island Service Desk in the Resident Activity Center or call them at 454-2282. Or you can call the Woodland Service Desk at 454-2054. Christmas is just a few weeks away, and you know what that means. We're just about a month away from getting new ShellPoint directories. The updated version of the directory comes out in January, and here's how you can get your information updated and make any needed changes.
I'm Mary Franklin from Resort Services, and I'm here today to talk to you about an important tool that we use as staff, and I know you use as residents as well. That tool is the ShellPoint directory. Many of you know that this gets delivered to your mailboxes twice a year, once in January and again in July. The reason it's distributed twice is because lots of edits and changes need to take place to make sure it's up to date. We need your help in that process. If you add a cell phone number or change your email address, or maybe, unfortunately, we've misspelled something in your name, please let us know so we can get this updated. And to do and make any of these changes, you can call 454-2299. Another couple of reminders about the directory is that don't share this with anyone outside of ShellPoint. This is some important information for all of us who live and work here. But we do not want to share this private information with the greater community. So please keep it close to you and not share it with others outside the community. Also, when your new directory is delivered in the months of January or July, bring your old one up to either of the service desk and we will have them properly shredded so that they're not just hanging around ShellPoint for someone to possibly pick up and abuse the information that is in here. Well, thank you for listening to this important information. And once again, if you need to make changes to your information, please call 454-2299. I'm Mary Franklin. Make it a great day.
The Lee County Sheriff's Office continues to do its part to make sure our older citizens are not being taken advantage of. The CASE Partnership Program is a unique and successful elder fraud prevention program that partners law enforcement agencies with the faith community. Lee County Sheriff Mike Scott is here to explain.
Hi, I'm Lee County Sheriff Mike Scott. It's my pleasure to join you on ShellPoint Television today to discuss the CASE Partnership Program. CASE stands for Communities Against Senior Exploitation. It's a unique and successful elder fraud prevention program that partners law enforcement agencies with the faith community. Through education and prevention, CASE works with faith-based communities to empower and protect our older adults. And while we have this program in place to provide support within the community, I want to take a moment to remind you that your personal safety is, first and foremost, in your own hands. With that, it's important to remain vigilant in protecting your identity, personal credit card information, and bank accounts. Unfortunately, despite numerous warnings throughout the year about scammers who prey on unsuspecting consumers through bogus emails and phone calls, the Sheriff's Office continues to receive complaints from trustworthy and innocent victims who have been swindled. Don't let yourself become one of the statistics. Scam artists are getting more and more creative, attacking victims through the internet, over the phone, and even with text messages. Please understand the importance of skepticism when it comes to accepting a prize or payment that seems too good to be true, or when asked to share personal information. Don't be afraid to take a step back and consider the situation, or consult with a respected friend or ShellPoint staff member before taking action. And as always, if you have questions about your consumer fraud, or if you think you have been victimized, contact the Sheriff's Office fraud line at 239-477-1242. That's 477-1242. Once again, I'm Sheriff Mike Scott, and I thank you for being an active partner in securing the safety of our community.
With Christmas just 3 weeks away, folks around the Shell Point are getting in the spirit. Eagles Preserve resident Bob Benjamin has been hard at work throughout the year doing his part to make the holidays special.
Back in 1989, when I retired, I wanted something to do and I like to work with wood. So I bought a complete wood shop from Sears and Roebuck and took part of the basement of our house and set it up in a workshop, and I just wanted something to do, so I did a lot of different things, which they're all over the house here really, but this one here in particular I like real well because I wanted to do something special with that equipment, so I got some plywood. I cut this out, and all this is a picture of Santa Claus leaning over the crib with Jesus in it, and the little words on here that are so important to me. It just says, "Jesus and Santa, partners forever." So that'll support the fact that we should all also believe in Santa Claus as well as Jesus. And then as my wife and I were thinking one day, we were getting all these Christmas cards every year and we were mailing them. And we were, like everybody else, just throwing those Christmas cards away. My wife got the idea that, you know, let's do something special with these cards. So we decided we were going to keep the cards, and then every morning when we had our prayer at breakfast time, we would pull one of those cards out and we'd pray for that individual family or situation, and we continued that. Well, then we needed some place to put the cards, so I made this little sleigh right here, and we put all the cards in the sleigh, and then each morning we'd pull the one that was in front, pray for that situation or individual, and then put it in behind, and we went through the whole year that way. And when we finally reached the card that we knew would not come up another time, at that point we threw them away. Then we got to talking one day. Says, you know, it seems such a shame to ruin all those beautiful cards like that. Let's find some other use for them. So I got the idea then, since we were doing that, that I might as well use my woodworking equipment. So I started making some Christmas ornaments each year. This is the first one we ever made. It's the one of Santa Claus that we just went over here just a few minutes ago. But in any event, I made that, and for a few years I cut every one of those out, different shapes, and made them different. Like here, this one here is a big shape. That's got my whole family on it, front and back. And then we've got real different shapes, like this one here. Here's one that looks like a ladybug. And they're all different, and all of those initially I cut out with my jigsaw, and I drilled a hole and did all the painting and decorating on it and sent them to a select group of people that were on our Christmas card list. Well, we kept that going for several years, and then when we moved to Florida, we moved to Sarasota initially, and we continued it from there. And then it even meant more because we were further away from most of the friends and relatives that we used to have. Well, in 2007, when we moved to Shell Point here, we got the idea that, well, let's expand this a little bit and send it to some folks right here that we're meeting or we'd like to meet. So I made the decision once, we might as well do something different too. And rather than cut up the Christmas cards only and glue that on here, I decided also to use a Shell Point Life monthly publication. And if anybody had a photograph that is usable on one of these, or could be, the side could be reduced with the equipment I had, the size could be reduced, then I'd do that, and then I would glue the pictures on there. Now here's a good example. This happens to be my daughter-in-law. This picture at one time was in Shell Point Life. And I took that out and I put Carolyn on there, and she's gonna probably shoot me for showing it on this film, but in any event, that's okay. And all kinds of different shapes here. Here's a cute little deer that we had, and every year I seem to be adding some different shape because I've been buying all these shapes now from the hobby shops, and they vary quite a bit. So to bringing that right up to date now then, of course, last year I distributed about 300 of these little Christmas ornaments. This year, for some reason, I'm up to 500 already. I get all these ready and they all go out in the first week in December. And I don't have a workshop, but I do have 2 desks back here, including the computer, and therefore I take these are in progress right now. Here's a one that's unusual. It's a polar bear, and that is going to be going out to somebody the first week in December. And we have a heart here and all these different shapes. And what I do is, the first thing I do is I decide what colors to put on it. I paint it. And then after it's all painted, then I have to make a decision, well, what kind of sticker should I put on here? This year, I took the theme of Heaven on Earth, Shell Point Retirement Community 2014, and all the folks here will, most anyhow, will like that. And then on many of them I added this one little phrasing where there was a word that says nothing more than Jesus is the reason for this season on that. And this one here happens to go to a friend of mine down on the island. It just says a Merry 2014 Christmas to whoever it is. And this one too also went to one of the guys in my Monday morning prayer meeting. Of course, after I get the paint on there and I get these little stickers glued on there, then I've got all these little salt shakers here that have different colored sparkles on it. So then I put this clear lacquer on there and just do nothing more than shake a little of that on it in order to give it some sparkle. And then of course the last thing I do on these is after the paint and everything is dried, then I have a ball of yarn. I just cut it off and I make a string in here so that it can be hung on the Christmas tree very nicely. Now, making 500 of these in the year 2014 gave me a space problem. So as I made them and put them in the envelopes, They were all either in a green or a red envelope, and then I put them together. These all happen to be going to people that live in Oakmont, every one of them. And then I stacked them in here, I cataloged them, and now they're all boxed up and ready to go the first week in December. Christmas means an awful lot to me because as far as I'm concerned, it's not only the most interesting holiday time of the year, but to me, it's very, very important because I happen to be a Christian, and all Christians celebrate Christmas and Easter every year solidly. So I like to do that, and I like to put up this artificial tree I've got here is over 30 years old. You know, it still looks like it came out of the box. So I put my Christmas tree up, fix up all the little things down below, and then years ago when we lived in Ohio, my neighbor who did in ceramics made these little trees. So in any event, Christmas to me is the most important family holiday that we have during the year, because in addition to all the parties and the gift giving and so forth, I like to, every time I send one of these little ornaments out, I like to remind people what Christmas is all about. And that is the time that Jesus Christ was born. And that means an awful lot to me.
And if you want to learn more about Bob and his Christmas ornaments, just pick up a copy of this month's Shell Point Life magazine. Now it's time to cover all of Monday's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections. Right after this word from David Howenstein with a preview of his radio show on TV, Listening to the Words.
This week's program of Listening to the Words connects last week's Thanksgiving program to the first of 3 Christmas-themed shows that begin next week. On this week's program, nature is the focus, first with 2 poems, the first of which is titled, In Our Woods, Sometimes a Rare Music. Next, a man remembers his 103-year-old grandmother Zula as being as sassy as her treasured Nandina shrub. Nature includes such as blizzards, as remembered by Shell Point's Nita DeWeese. And that's why I'm wearing this jacket today, because we've gotten the tail end of blizzards down here in Florida, haven't we? Then enjoy some pieces on parenting, including the lyrics from a Broadway musical, with a stanza that reads, "Just keep in mind, though it seems hard, I know, most parents once were children long ago." Then be inspired by a North Fort Myers 10-year-old who's raising money for needy kids. Finally, a return to a radio Christmas classic that went on the air in the late 30s and still resonates today. I'm your reader host, David Howenstein, reminding you to tune to Shell Point's Channel 12 twice each hour, all 7 days this week, so I may include you in my thank you for listening to the words.
Hi Shell Point, I'm Melody Desolé here today with Caitlin Van Scoy, and we have the Shell Point TV Happening segment. We are now in December. It's Monday, December 1st, and it is Activities Sign-Up Day. So be sure to go to either the Woodlands or the Island Service Desk to sign up for all the wonderful December activities. We begin this morning at 8 o'clock with men's match play doubles tennis on the tennis courts at the Woodlands. At 8:45, we have virtual bowling in the Resident Activity Center. Now at 9 o'clock, the food pantry is looking for volunteers. You can meet at the Village Church on the island. At 9:15, there's a few options for you: billiards in the Resident Activity Center or pottery with instruction available in the Pottery Studio in the Creative Arts Tunnel. At 10 o'clock, there's a few options: men's match play doubles tennis at the tennis courts at the Woodlands. And at 10 o'clock, we have a Susie Q trip going to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant for lunch. Sign up is required. At 10:15, the Parkinson's Enrichment Group will meet in the community room at King's Crown. And at 10:30, we have Disciple Men's Bible Study meeting in the game room at the Woodlands. At 10:45 in the Tarpon Room, we have table tennis. And at 11:30, we have a Health Connection Agility and Flexibility class held in the Health Club. That wraps up our busy morning. Caitlin, take us into the afternoon.
Thanks, Melody. At 12 o'clock, we kick off the afternoon with Mahjong in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. At 1:15, advanced table tennis in the Tarpon Room on the island. Samba the card game will be played at 1:15 in the Resident Activity Center on the island. 1:15, Tone Chimes is meeting in the Osprey Room on the island. The Model Train Room will be open from 1:30 to 3:30 in the Island Tunnel. 1:45 is a Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 1. This is currently closed, but it will be held in the Health Club on the island. The BDI Bead Club will be meeting at 2 o'clock in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. 3 o'clock, another Health Connections class, Pilates Stretch, held at the Health Club on the island. If you're in the Shell Point Singers, you have rehearsal today at 3:15 in the choir room in the Village Church. 3:30, we have another Health Connections class, Aqua Agility and Conditioning, at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center on the island. Come out for pickleball at 4 p.m. at the pickleball courts on the island. We finish the day off with Duplicate Bridge at 6:30 p.m. at the game room at the Woodlands. Thanks, that concludes the day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Menus for Monday, December 1st. In the Crystal Room, the platter is chicken pot pie with fried green beans and a biscuit. For dinner, it's Old Home Cooking Night for $11.95. The soup is vegetable chili. In the Island Cafe, for lunch, it's chicken tender wrap with onion rings for $7.25. And for dinner, it's grilled tilapia with rice pilaf and broccoli for $8.25. The Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, Randy Woods, and it's my privilege to serve as the Minister of Worship and Music at the Village Church and to work with so many talented people week after week. In the church and the community, we're blessed with the resources and certainly value the time and talent that so many freely share with us. Well, as we work throughout the year, it's especially important that we enjoy the opportunities, the special blessings that are coming our way throughout the holidays. And as we approach the Christmas season, I'm delighted with the privilege we have with our church choir, festival orchestra, and special guests, Joel Rainey and Jane Holstein, to be with us for our Christmas celebration to be presented on Sunday evening, December 7th. Joel Rainey has specifically written this musical entitled A Thrill of Hope that was written specifically for our church choir 5 years ago. It was a privilege for us to perform that work here, to premiere it with Joel and Jane, and it'll be a delight to do it again this Christmas. I trust that you've gotten your tickets. Tickets are available for the Christmas celebration on Sunday evening, December 7th at 6:15. Tickets for the Season of Praise concert are $10, can be purchased at the church anytime. As we anticipate celebrating Christmas together, this first Sunday of the month will be the highlight of the season as we begin the celebration with Joel Rainey and Jane Holstein. As together at the keyboard, Joel and Jane are playing, accompanying the choir. We'll have the festival orchestra, the handbells and pictures, lots of congregation participation, but sharing in the joy of the message of Christmas, God is with us, Emmanuel. And as we celebrate together, it'll be a delight again to do this work with Joel and Jane visiting. As I mentioned, Joel wrote this work specifically for the Village Church, and it's been published by Hope Publishing Company and distributed around the world. Here's just a comment from the arranger, composer himself, Joel Rainey, as he speaks about his work in writing A Thrill of Hope.
A Thrill of Hope is, I think, a fresh way to look at the story of the birth of Christ. It's not a chronological walk through the events. It is 4 movements, choral suites, I like to call them, that tell the story, the complete story, under the umbrellas of love, hope, peace, and joy. I found some interesting text that combined with some surprising tunes and planted a few smiles through the course of what I think is an emotional and moving Christmas experience. There are 18 familiar carols, a little bit of original material, but it's kind of like a warm blanket in a way of nostalgia, yet fresh.
No doubt you appreciated Joel's comments and the inspiration behind his writing and arranging. Be sure to get your tickets and be part of the Christmas celebration at the Village Church. Tickets are just $10 and available at the church office at your convenience. So stop by, get your tickets, and plan to celebrate the season with us as we begin Sunday evening, December 7th, A Thrill of Hope, with Joel Rainey and Jane Holstein, the Village Church Choir, Festival Orchestra, and Celebration Ringers. It's going to be a wonderful event. Great ministry of the season. Come and be a part of it.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when we discuss 2 Health Connections programs you'll want to know about. Plus, find out how you can make lasting memories out of your family photos. Until then, this is ShellPoint Today for Monday, December 1st. I'm Adam Brown, and for all of us here at ShellPoint TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.